Oh, hi, everybody. Just tried to lay down for a nap, but Cowboys weren't having that crap. Cowboys traded for another former first-round pick. They're going to try to catch them all like Pokemon, like I do with Pokemon. I think Jerry's in search of something.
I want me some glory hole.
But anyway, I'm Jeff. And that's Joe Hoyt.
Tell them something, Joe.
The Cowboys have Boomer Soonered this thing. You had somewhere? We got a Boomer Sooner sighting. Kenneth Murray. What just happened to my camera? It went blurry. Kenneth Murray, former Oklahoma linebacker, former Tennessee Titan, is a Dallas Cowboy now. The Cowboys are trading for everybody. They signed a linebacker. They traded for a linebacker. We're absolutely cooking, Joe. We're cooking.
Jeff, we are. Have you ever seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know when he's like trying to surf and Paul Rudd's like, all right, you need to do more than that. And it's like, all right, well, now you're doing too much. Okay,
Yeah.
So, stop it. And yeah, just right there. We're in the doing too much portion right now. Now, but in all seriousness, yeah, fourth former first-round pick they've acquired this offseason, Jeff.
So many former first-round picks. And so we could talk about what they are now doing. So the Cowboys have traded for Kaiir Elam, former first-rounder from the Bills today. They just signed Jack Sanborn, who's not a former first-rounder, but they did sign a linebacker today. And they just traded for Kenneth Murray, a former first-round linebacker out of the University of Oklahoma, who, in this case, as a guy who does draft things, I vividly remember watching Kenneth Murray as a college player, and so now I understand why the Cowboys are doing what they do. They're calling somebody into the room, they're like, hey, you remember Murray in college? And so it's like, that dude was a bat out of hell. And they're like, hell yeah, you want to trade for him? Like, sounds great. Have you seen him play NFL football? No, not really. Kenneth Murray makes $6 million in salary this year and has not been good. Was not good at all for Tennessee last year.
No.
Terrible in coverage, terrible in run defense, terrible at everything. Makes $6 million, and the Cowboys traded for him. But I don't want to be mean to them. I just don't. Like, this is not the point of cap. I don't want you to clear cap space to take on one-year deals of underachieving former first-round picks. I want you to go at the good players, but I also hope that Kenneth Murray shows up and kicks ass, okay? So let's just be clear about that. I hope he shows up and kicks ass. I am skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of this one, but I do remember his college tape. And if you say, hey, they signed Jack Sanborn, what is he? The answer is middle linebacker, strong side linebacker, run defender. And you say, what is Kenneth Murray supposed to be? Hellified athlete, weak side linebacker, run around and make plays. He wasn't that last year for sure in Tennessee. But he has started a butt ton of NFL football games. The Cowboys need linebackers, so they're throwing him in the mix. Do I think this is a good one? I sure don't, but I sure hope so, Joe. That's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a guy, like you mentioned, 4'5", 40, coming out of Oklahoma. A guy the Cowboys had interest in when he was coming out of Oklahoma. He obviously went to the Chargers, and he went to Tennessee, signed a 2-year deal. And you kind of hear from Titans fans, and, they were even confused by the deal back then. Gave him a lot of money for what he was kind of producing with the Chargers. I think they were desperate for a leader. He came in, was an instant captain for the Tennessee Titans, and then didn't play that much. Went on IR by the end of the season. This is someone that, has all the athleticism in the world. And I think our friend John Owning said it, like, I haven't seen someone with instincts this bad in a while for a guy that athletically talented. You wonder if maybe in a different system, maybe it's a little bit more simplistic. You can pair him next to someone, smart and intelligent that can kind of get him in the right place and say, just go sick the ball carrier. And maybe being a starting middle linebacker is, maybe needs to be more a weak side linebacker. These are questions you have when you trade for a guy who has not figured it out. And that's what Kenneth Murray is, a guy who has not figured it out yet. I think it's funny, and it better be funny, that the two linebackers they added today could not be more different, frankly. One is the first-round pick, super athletic, who has just not figured it out, and the other one is an undrafted free agent who kind of is very just always in the right place, but just doesn't have the athleticism. So part of me wonders, just saying, hey, Matt Eberflus, here are 2 options. Make one of them work.
Solid ducks in the super chat. Joneses get active in free agency, and everybody's complaining still. And somebody said that to me on Twitter too. And I don't mean for it to be that way. Like, I hope everyone that the Cowboys acquire is badass. And I hope they win the Super Bowl, because I spend my life talking about the football team. So I want them to win. But yeah, they are collecting former first-round picks that I'm sure they really, really liked. In Kenneth Murray's case, that was 6 years. He's played 5 years of NFL football, 4 years. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option, 2-year deal in Tennessee. He's played one of them. This will be the second one. So this will be his 6th year of NFL football. And maybe you just put some credit into the fact that the Tennessee Titans sucked. It's hard to play good football or want to play good football when your team sucks. I'll try to find reasons for optimism for people, but if you're observing who the player was, like what you just did is you just traded very little. What they're giving up in these trades is very, very little, damn near nothing. But he will eat up unless Tennessee is somehow going to eat some of this. He will eat up $6 million in salary cap space to run down on kickoff. Kenneth Murray is not going to. I couldn't imagine he's going to start for you after the way that he played last year. But he has. I mean, he started like 70 NFL football games, so maybe. I loved him coming out. I'm like the Cowboys. I loved Kenneth Murray coming out of college. Like watching that dude just scream across football fields and terrorize running backs. And when he's going forward and attacking at quarterbacks, watching him, there is so much athleticism and burst and agility and ability and acceleration. Like there are physical tools that Kenneth Murray has that I loved half a decade ago too.
Mm-hmm.
It has not translated into good NFL linebacker yet. And the odds of that changing going into year 6, I would think are low, but we love collecting us some former first-round picks, baby. We love it.
I want to give one reason for optimism. And it's kind of, I think it's becoming clear. When we look at the Brian Schottenheimer coaching staff, right? What was our big takeaway, Jeff? That there was a theme. We're going to get guys that develop guys. We're going to get college coaches. We're going to get guys that take, players, make them better when they're done coaching them, right? And now I think there's a clear theme in the offseason so far. They are taking guys with a lot of talent. Not in the case of Jack Sanborn when it comes to, ceilings, but they're taking guys that have talent, have not developed, and maybe they're banking on, hey, what if we can take this low stock, buy low, develop it, and turn it into something that, one, will maybe translate to a comp pick next year, or maybe this is our Zach Bond experience. Yeah. Maybe this is our Zach Bond. Maybe this is the guy that didn't work out in that system. You come here, you get under the guidance of Matt Eberflus at linebacker. You get a linebacker whisperer over there. And this is a guy that we can turn you into the first round pick you were. Like, we're going to make it very simplistic for you. Hey, at corner, we're going to turn, Kaiir Elam, you were a first round pick for a reason. We're going to make you that guy. And that's the only kind of optimism I could probably give you is that, hey, there's a reason that they're doing these things. Brian Schottenheimer, what did Will McClay tell us at the Senior Bowl? Brian Schottenheimer is very active in terms of communicating with the front office and the higher ups, right? Maybe he's been very clear that, hey, we are going to be a draft and develop team. And then we're also going to develop guys that have been drafted elsewhere very highly and take advantage of them on the cheap. That's kind of the only reason for optimism and the theme that's starting to kind of cement itself, I think, through all these moves to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I don't know if you know this about me, Joe, but they called me a couple of different things. They call me tater salad. Well, they call me the comp pick king, and they call me Captain Trade Down. These are things that I like. I love comp picks. So like Tank Lawrence has got a big deal or big-ish deal. Crap.
Big deal.
I just blanked. Where'd he go?
Seattle, $14 million a year for 3 years.
Okay, so that's a 5th round comp pick. Jordan Lewis got 10. It's probably a 6. Maybe it'll be a 5th. I'd have to see the formula. But that can also go into trading for guys where the Cowboys in both of these scenarios, I believe, what they're going to do is you're going to trade for Kenneth Murray and you're going to give up a higher pick, but you're going to take back a lower pick. So you're doing a little swap. You'd probably give a 6, get a 7. And then that doesn't cancel out Tank Lawrence leaving, which would happen if you signed Dre Greenlaw and Tank Lawrence signs in Seattle, cancel. Yep. Right. And if you don't sign any free agents that make big money, you are winning the comp pick game. But the comp pick game is also for people like me. I would run a poverty franchise. I'm trying to win on the margins. And so, Jeff Heath, as the GOAT said, is next year's comp pick season with D-Law and J-Lou leaving and signing decent deals. You are in line to get future picks for those. Nesto's in the super chat. I'm not upset at anything the front office is doing so far. All I ever ask is for moves to be made. And they're doing that. It does feel like 2020 offseason, though. They're making moves. They have positions of need. They are adding players without effing up comp pick formulas. I do wish that more of the guys that they were adding were proven good NFL starters.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll be interested to see when we start hearing from coaches. Like, I want to hear what they say about Kenneth Murray. I think I know what they'll say about Kaiir Elam. They will say, if they're willing to say it out loud, what we're going to run defensively, we feel like fits him better than what he ended up doing in Buffalo. Not a man coverage corner. With Eberflus, we're going to run a bunch of cover 3. He's going to be responsible for a deep third, and we like him in that scenario, and we feel like he can do that. I don't know what you say about the linebacker who people are going to say is a good athlete, but the instinctual part of the game and the reading it and coverage and assignments never came around. That one I don't know, other than they'll say, look, we liked him coming out of college and we feel like we can get him there. I think I know what they'll say with Elam, and you might be able to sell me on that. Plus, you gave up almost nothing for him, and it's fine. Murray's a little bit different because he's already signed a second contract. He's going to count $6 million for you, and I can't imagine he's going to start.
I wouldn't bank on that today, frankly, but I don't know, because
maybe it is. Maybe it's him and Leafau, and Sanborn is more of a Sam linebacker when you're in a 3 linebacker package, and like maybe Kenneth Murray is a starter, and maybe look, I am allowed to be negative about a trade. I'm allowed to be, because I'm a fake OU fan. I want Kenneth Murray to be awesome. I dated somebody for a half decade that went to OU, and my uncle went to OU, so I became a fake OU fan and accepted his tickets to games for years, and I cheered for Kenneth Murray and others. So I'm allowed to be negative. You're not allowed to come at me for that. You don't know if it's the hot dog or the bun.
No, this is a hot dog bun. I think it's a hot dog, too.
But anyway, yeah, maybe he's just here until Overshone's ready. They just want a guy that has some of the traits that Overshone has in terms of, look, what I want is a dude that can cover ground and tackle people. And we'll line him up. We'll get him lined up. We're going to teach him to be more consistent reading things, but we just want a guy that's going to fly across the field and run into people until Overshone's ready. Maybe that's it.
It is fascinating that they are using these comp picks instead of getting proven guys. They are getting projects and former first-round picks and things. I think that's fascinating. I mean, we saw what Commanders got for Deebo Samuel, right? 5th-round pick. And obviously there were some pick swaps associated with Kaiir Elam, but you kind of gave up a 5th-round pick in theory, and it's not the same value. But that's what you could be using your comp picks on, is guys like Deebo Samuel. If Cooper Kupp ends up getting a big deal in free agency, right, but you were willing to stomach 1 year of that, you could have given up a 5th or a 6th or a 7th, frankly, to go get Cooper Kupp and just cut in front of the line and get him. So I think that's kind of something to watch, is how effectively are they using their comp picks, and can this idea of developing other first-round picks actually come into fruition come training camp? We'll see.
Yeah, and the good news is they're giving up basically nothing for these things. And if either of them works out, somebody else will sign them for big money because they're former first-round picks. And then you'll win in that way, because we love to win the comp pick game. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to leave, and then the Cowboys are going to sign Cooper Kupp in 6 minutes. And then we'll be right back, because that's what's happened all day today. We talked about
not only Cooper Kupp, they're then going to go sign Asante Samuel to play the slot.
And they're going to trade for 2 former first-round picks who are currently running down on kickoff for people.
I know. I got to find a list of former first-round picks that they could trade for and get back to you.
All right, team. Have a wonderful day. Be excited that they're doing stuff. At least the little do something thing. They're doing things, which is way more fun than not doing things. And hopefully some of these things will work out for us. It'll be great. Get out of here. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everybody. Don't let them sign somebody in 10 seconds. We love you. Bye.